Shut up, John.
Hey everyone, I'm Super Saiyan J, and before I do this video, I'm new at this theory stuff, so please don't get butthurt if I get something wrong. And if I am wrong, correct me in the comments. And let me explain my reasons before you comment, though. Alright, so I'm gonna be doing 5 mini theories that I thought up of. So let's get started. Theory 5: Super Saiyans are not special. From the moment you saw the opening theme song to Dragon Ball Z, you were waiting for the moment promised, when Goku finally went Super Saiyan, and when his hair finally ignited and his eyes changed to a tint of baby blue, right before the longest 5-minute fight in the entire history of the universe, you pumped your fists in the air because it was all worth it. That moment is undoubtedly one of the most satisfying in the series, which makes it kind of a bummer when you consider it wasn't a big deal at all. Even though the legendary Super Saiyan transformation is talked about in hushed tones for much of the series, for the Saiyan race it should never have been a major achievement. Heck, even a couple of first graders pulled it off. How was that, anyway? Think back to before Frieza ruled planet Vegeta, or destroyed it too. The Saiyans were a super race of cosmic jerks, traveling the galaxy and dominating every planet they could. They were kind of like the space-faring Spartans. Any personal qualities that didn't involve strength and arrogance were frowned upon. It seemed to work out for them for a while, because during the Saiyan reign, the people were never really challenged. Saiyans rarely had to push themselves emotionally or physically, so it's no wonder nobody went super. But because Goku was raised around humans, he learns their compassion and eventually changes forms after a traumatic loss. Gohan, Trunks, and Goten are all able to do this much earlier, potentially because they're half human and therefore more in touch with their emotions. Really though, Vegeta proves that any Saiyan has the capacity to go super. If Nappa had stuck around longer, he'd probably have sported a pointy gold mustache sooner or later. And you can bet that if humans have the ability to go Super Saiyan, pretty much everyone on the street would look like a buff guy fairy. But humans don't have that ability, so you can stop screaming and clenching your fists in your room now. Theory 4. Just let me explain myself. Krillin is the most skilled fighter on the show. No one's going to argue that Krillin is the strongest fighter in Dragon Ball Z. That's not what I'm talking about here. Everyone knows that Goku's ingrown toenail has a higher power level than his bald buddy. No, we're talking about skill level. Despite overwhelming odds, Krillin stuck in there for most of Dragon Ball Z. He was hanging with the Saiyans, Frieza, and the androids, and even a bit of Cell. Something had to keep him in the fight, and it sure wasn't his aerodynamic headbutts. Krillin is severely underpowered compared to pretty much everyone else, but that's the whole point. Because he was so weak, Krillin had to learn to use what he had to his fullest potential, whereas Goku and Vegeta got nice power boosts after every battle because they were born Saiyans. Krillin had to learn to survive in a world that outclassed him by miles. Somehow he managed to stay relevant at a fraction of the power of those around him. Imagine what Krillin would be like if he was endowed with the power of Goku. He'd easily eviscerate every other fighter in the universe, simply because he's had to train harder and smarter than anyone else in the series. People make fun of Krillin for dying a lot, but that's because he's always in the fight, whether or not he's guaranteed cell meat. Let's face it, guys, Yamcha is the real Krillin here. Theory 3. Bulma's mom is an android made by her dad. Bless you, Mom. Sorry, Mom. Ever notice how Bulma's mom stays consistently young throughout the series? During the Majin Buu saga, Mrs. Brief is supposed to be pushing 70, but she still looks straight out of MTV's Singled Out. There's only one possible explanation. No, not years of painful cosmetic procedures. The DBZ solution being that Dr. Brief built an android to be his eternal wife. There are some natural questions that arise with this kind of fan theory. So, does that make Bulma half an android? Can androids even give birth to human children? To answer that, I give you this. Just like Mrs. Brief, Android 18 remains useful for years after her husband succumbs to old age. 18 is able to give birth to children without a problem, mostly because she was once a human before she was kidnapped and turned into a cyborg by the evil Dr. Gero. If Mrs. Brief suffered the same fate, it would put a new and terrible undertone to her sunny disposition. Inside, she could be crying out for help, while her programming mandates that she stay a loving wife to her husband. Comparing to that, having a bomb planted inside you doesn't sound so bad. Theory 2. Frieza lost Goku out of sheer laziness. Villains in general usually have an arrogance problem. They see no problem in strolling away from the room while their rivals slowly descend into a pit of lava. In their mind, there is no conceivable way that their bulletproof schemes could go wrong. The same could be said for Frieza, who remains blind to the idea that he could ever be defeated until he meets a certain Super Saiyan. But the difference between Frieza and a James Bond villain is that Frieza actually has the skills to conquer the universe, if he only applied himself. Seriously, the dude has several possible transformations at his disposal, but he chooses to scoot around in his hover chair. Frieza is immensely powerful, but refuses to use his abilities to his advantage because he's just too dang lazy. When he blows up Planet Vegeta with his finger, Frieza is only in his first form, and still sitting in his hover chair. Why he rides that thing in his own ship is inexplicable, unless he just wants to get into the front of the line of all the rides at Disneyland. The thing is, we know Frieza is capable of a lot more, and it wouldn't even take that much effort. In the Dragon Ball Z movie Resurrection F, Frieza is wished back to life and immediately starts plotting his revenge against Goku. Afraid of getting his butt handed to him by a Super Saiyan, Frieza decides to train until he's up to snuff. It only takes 4 months for Frieza to unlock a newer, shinier form. 4 months for what took a Super Saiyan years to achieve. If Frieza trained like 1 day a month at Planet Fitness leading up to the Namek Saga, Goku would have never been a problem. But he still decided to cruise around in a space rascal. Theory 1. The world would have been much better off without Goku. Goku means well, he really does. When Goku gave Frieza 38 different chances to live, only to be immediately and repeatedly betrayed, he was doing so out of a sense of honor. It's hard to knock the guy when he saved the planet countless times, but maybe the planet wouldn't need saving if Goku never existed. Say Goku is never sent to Earth. Raditz never comes down looking for him, which means Vegeta and Nappa never come to Earth looking for the Dragon Balls. Dr. Gero wouldn't vow to murder the child he doesn't know about, so he never makes the androids or Cell. With no Super Saiyans on Earth, there would be no energy for which to release Buu from his cocoon. And since everyone has agreed that Dragon Ball GT has never happened in any official timeline, that about wraps it up for the major bad guys threatening the world. Sure, there'd be evil lurking in the hearts of men, but that's where these guys come in. Without any burdens like running from hooking up with killer aliens from outer space, Bulma and the Capsule Corporation would be free to build their massive technological empire. We know Bulma in particular is a brilliant scientist. She created a time machine in the basement. She's basically the Iron Man of the Dragon Ball Z universe, but she never got a chance to shine because she was always preoccupied with the latest world-shattering crisis. The Red Ribbon Army wouldn't stand a chance against Capsule Corp at their full potential. Let that be a lesson to you. Never let alien man-monkeys get in the way of your dreams. So that about wraps up these theories. I hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.